Hi, this is Brian with the Ensemble Edge Cloud team. In this video, we're going to show how to create a connector in Ensemble Director and how to pick an application to run on Ensemble Connector's Edge Cloud. That way, when we ship that server on site, everything comes up automatically. So let's go ahead and we'll log into Ensemble Director. And you can see the dashboard view that we come into gives a great summary of the health, ZTP, and operational status of the network. Looking in the upper right of the screen, you can see that we have no connectors defined yet. So let's go over to Inventory, click the pull down, go to Connectors, and we want to create a connector. To create a connector, you fill in a few values on the form that's presented. Now, the forms themselves are defined by templates that are completely customizable by the users. And we'll get into that in some later videos, but for now, let's just use the templates as they're presented. First, we want to pick our application, and I have two options here, so I'm going to pick the FortiGate Basic configuration. The host name is the name of the cloud that will be running at that connector. And let's say this is the BB Hardware Store Location 1, so that's how I'm going to name my cloud. The management IP for the connector is already filled in by Director's IPAM system, so we'll proceed to the UID. The UID is the unique identifier that the installer or user at the remote site enters in on connector's splash screen. Now we can leave it blank and Director will automatically generate a random string for the UID, or we can go ahead and fill it in. Finally, the last field we'll fill in on this screen is the label. This is a free-form text field where you can put a descriptor that's helpful for you, because later you can search your inventory of deployed servers using this string or any subsets of this string. And we're ready to create. The next screen handles the network variables. These options may be needed if you deploy multiple server types and you want to initialize your image for different ports to be WAN based on the server type. In this case, we don't want to change that, so let's go on. And finally, the last screen we see is the cloud variables. Now, these are the variables associated with the actual virtual networking functions that we're launching on Connector's Cloud. And in this case, I'm just going to accept them as they are presented. And we finished. So now you can see we've created a connector instance in MANO. We know the host name, the management IP, the UID that the installer or user needs to enter on the splash screen, and the ZTP and the operational status. Well, those are grayed out at the moment because the server has not yet been connected to the network. When we go back to the Overview tab, we can see the same thing. In the upper right, you can see we've created a connector. In the middle field, in the ZTP status, you can see that the ZTP for this particular connector has not started. So we are ready to turn up the connector server, and that wraps up this video.